Evening and welcome to Foxborough's Conservation Commission meeting of July 15th, 2024 at the Gala Meeting Room, Town Hall, Foxborough. Welcome to today's meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. With that, I'll open the meeting at 7 o'clock. Do we have any public comments? Rich, you want to update us on McKenzie Lane?
Okay. Shelley can't come due to some medical issues today, but they did install, I think you can see from the drawing, do we have the drawings? Yeah. They did do a pretty good job with the drainage on the playground area. And from what they tell me, most of the water does go right into that and doesn't come out. And they've cut the hose off, so this would flow outside if that was the case, but it doesn't flow right down to the water. They have agreed that they'll stabilize the bank with natural grass seeds and maybe plantings later on. So if that's okay, I'll tell them that, otherwise, unless you want to see them in here. She's been very cooperative all along. Yeah.
I think that's sufficient.
Yeah.
In good faith. Just have her stabilize it. And if she wants to take a picture and send it over to the office, I mean, we can just put this to bed.
Okay, good. I'll tell her that.
Thank you for following up on that. Do we have time for minutes?
Sure. We have the minutes from the June 17th, 2024 meeting.
We didn't do June 3rd last time.
Oh, that's right. That was a long time ago. I don't have those in front of me,
Those were good. I read
but
them.
they looked good, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in them. I just finished
Thanks.
reading.
Yeah, so June 3rd, we talked about 10 Goodwin Drive, 16 Garrett's Plain Road, the request to put up a shed, and the continued public hearing for 204 East Street. We just closed that public hearing. We talked about Panis Road, certificate of compliance for 52 West Street. They looked good to me. I didn't have any suggestions for changes. Did anybody else?
Yep, no, look good.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from June 3rd, 2024, as is.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Do we have time for the next set?
Yeah, sure.
So for the meetings for June 17th, Carol Kleiner and Sue Novick came and spoke about forest bathing, and we gave them our support to offer this at the Lane property. We talked about Goodwin Drive, and it was continued because there's no DEP file number yet. Then we talked about Faxon Street. My only comment was on the Goodwin Drive. You attributed the suggestion for the buffer limit to be flagged to John Thomas. It was actually David that brought it up, and then Rich also had commented that there should be somebody from Bay Colony present for the flagging. That's the only addition I have there. Then we spoke with Jacob Hidden about him volunteering to do some work with us on the Conservation Commission. We talked about 357 South Street, and met with Carol Lundeen about gardening at the Lane property. And then the West Street Dam, a request for the order of conditions to be amended for the deck, an update on Panis Road. And then we closed a couple of order of conditions on Goodwin Drive and 204 East Street. Other than the comments on Goodwin Drive, I didn't notice any other changes to be made. Anybody else?
Nope, they're fine with me.
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from June 17, 2024 with that one addition.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. Being 7:05, we have a hearing, or NOI for 119 Morse Street.
pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Foxborough's Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Chapter 267, the Conservation Commission will open a public hearing on Monday, July 15th, 2024 at 7:05 PM in the Gala Meeting Room, Foxborough Town Hall, 40 South Street, via Zoom on a notice of intent filed by 119 Morse Street Realty Trust for the construction of a 36-unit multifamily residential development and associated drainage and utilities and bridge reconstruction at 119 Morse Street, Assessors Map 149, Parcel 024. Portions of the proposed work lie within the 100 feet of the resource area. The application is available for public inspection in the Conservation Office at Town Hall. This notice can also be found on the Massachusetts Newspaper Publishers Association website.
Mr. Buckley.
Mr. Chairman, good evening. For the record, my name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group, and I'm here representing the applicants, 119 Moore Street Realty Trust. Also joining us tonight is Bill Caspara, who is helping out the developer on this project, Stephanie Kiefer, who is the attorney for the project. So I think most everybody has heard about this. This project's been going on for quite a while. It's actually been before the board about 16 years ago when we brought before the commission a commercial project. There was a bunch of contractor bays, and the commission issued a order of conditions at that time. That was 2008, which if you're in the real estate business, you remember what a wonderful time that was. So nothing was ever built. And so approximately 2 or 3 years ago, the owners decided that they wanted to proceed with a comprehensive permit to build housing on this property. So it's gone through the process. It did receive its comprehensive permit. It actually just received a minor modification to it recently. And it started out as 50-plus units, and it's now down to 36 units. Because it was a comprehensive permit, the commission had input throughout the process and did give input throughout the process to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Also during that process, we filed an ANRAD, abbreviated Notice of Resource Area Delineation, asking the commission to certify the wetland borders or the resource area borders that would have been impacted. The one that was done previously had expired. So that was filed, it was appealed, and the DEP issued a superseding order of resource area delineation in, I think it was in September 2022. And basically what that did is, if you take a look up here on the screen, I think most of you remember, prior we made the assertion that the river ended here, and the neighbors said it ended someplace beyond that, and the DEP said it ended right here. So that changed the riverfront area on the property. None of the other resource areas were changed by the DEP. So that's what we're showing on this plan. The property currently contains, it's about 6 acres, and it contains an existing, what was a single-family home back in the day. You know, rumor, tradition has it that it was the owner of all the factories over there. And he owned the bleachery next door, and he owned all the factories across the street on the railroad tracks that stretched into Mansfield, which have long been knocked down. But since I've been around, it's always been a home, and for many years it was a landscape business. Ray McKay's, I forget. But there was a landscape company that subsequently moved to West Street. So it is now currently not being used for anything, and we're proposing to maintain the existing house, which is on there. I think most of the commissioners have had a chance to walk it when we did the resource area delineation, but that house is right in this area here. And then spread around the back of the house or existing house is either outbuildings like garages or sheds, or just foundations, old foundations. All of that will be removed. All we're going to be remaining will be the existing house. So the site is currently served by water. Town water comes in from the back, which is over here. The town has a 10-inch water line that runs from Moore Street all the way to Belcher, road on the, and it's all cross-country, and a 6-inch water line comes in from the back there. And I'll talk about that in a moment. I just wanted to point that out. So as I stated, this will be a 36-family project. It's in 10 separate buildings. So let me just show you what they are. These bigger buildings you see here, these 8 buildings, those are 4-unit buildings. 2 in the bottom, 2 in the top. They all have garages, so they all have 1-car garages. This building over here is a duplex. It's kind of a half of what this is. So this will be a duplex over here. And this, the existing single-family home that we talked about, will be turned into a duplex. So they're going to keep that house and turn it into a duplex. So I think those are the numbers. I think I said the numbers correctly. Currently, if you wanted to go to sheet 2 and look at your sheet, I'm not going to go to 2, but if you look at sheet 2, you see that there is a driveway that comes in off of Morse Street. And we're following that driveway pretty much right here. It comes through here, cuts across, goes in front of the existing house, then kind of dies out over here. It also goes in the back. If you come out, you go in the back, it goes through the rear here as well. This area is almost all grass. Through here, there's a nice grove of trees through that area there. And then the rest of it is pretty heavily, it's like, I would call it secondary. I wish Lauren was here to talk about it, but I would call that secondary growth. I think if we remember during the site walk, it's relatively straightforward walking through here. When it go over here, it starts to get very, very thick. Nobody wanted to go with me through there, which I was happy not to go. So that's what it looks like now. That's the current site. And there's a bridge that goes over the Rumford River, and it's about a 15-foot wide bridge. And I'll be talking about that in a moment as well. So, as I stated, we went through the comprehensive permit process, and they call it a comprehensive permit because one board handles everything, the ZBA, but everybody gets input. So we took input from the Conservation Commission, from the Planning Board, from the Selectmen, from the police, from the fire, from the DPW. So every board had input into it, and the ZBA listened very closely to it and made sure that we addressed the issues that were brought up. What we're going to do is follow that existing path, but we have to widen that driveway. That driveway is probably maybe 15 feet at its widest point. We have to widen that now because the fire department, prior to when we did our previous design, we didn't have to widen it because it was a commercial. But now that it's a residential, the fire department wanted a minimum of 20 feet wide, and then the planning board and ZBA wanted a sidewalk going out to Morse Street because the school buses will not pull into private developments, so they wanted a sidewalk to walk out to Morse. And again, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I wanted to point out that these widths that we came up with were mandated by the different town boards for public safety purposes. One of the things that DPW asked us to do is the existing 6-inch water line. The water line ends right here. It doesn't cross over to Mansfield. Actually, the water on the bleachery, I think, is all Mansfield water. Even though the line comes in from the back, it was never brought in that way. So what the DPW has asked us to do is to take this 6-inch water line and upgrade it to an 8-inch line. So we'll be running an 8-inch line from the 10, which is in that path. We'll be running it in the same area as the 6-inch line, and then we'll be looping it through the site, and then going through the bridge down to Moore Street, and kind of in front of this home right here where it ends. So what that will do is that will improve the water pressure for everybody down in that part of town, because you're not going to have a dead end in that area. That was, again, I'm pointing out some of the things that we were asked to do by the departments. The site is going to be served by town sewer. The sewer line runs right along Moore Street out there. So the sewer system will be what's called a low-pressure sewer system. So it's not like a pump station. I'm trying to think of an example in Foxborough, like down in Cabin and Forbes. they have a pump station down there by the bridge. So all the storage goes there. It's a good-sized building, and it's pumped out by one system. What this system is it's called a low-pressure sewer system. And every home, or every building in this particular case, will have its own pump system. And they're not very big. I would say they're, maybe 3 or 4 feet wide, maybe 6 feet deep. They go in the ground in front of the building, or they can go in your basement. Either way, however you want it to do it. And what they do is, the system is pressurized. A normal pressure system or a normal force main system would probably have about a 6-inch main pumping it out. In this particular case, this is going to be a 3-inch main, and that's what all these low-pressure sewer systems are. You saw it down, you've seen them down in the new place on Walnut Street where they're building the affordable housing. That's a low-pressure sewer that goes down Walnut and out to Central Street. So the commission looked at that. I know there was minor stuff compared to the other thing, but that was a low-pressure sewer. So each of these will have it. The low-pressure sewer will run through the bridge, same as the water, and out to Morse Street as well. So there's no septic systems on this lot.
You're going through, you're not going to go under the river,
Yeah, we're going to go through the bridge. My initial thought was to go under a sleeve, and they do what's called vertical or horizontal drilling. So they would drill it on this side, horizontally drill, pull a sleeve through and go up, and then you'd put a pipe through. They had a structural engineer look at it. He decided, and actually that's in your package, it's a sheet S1, it's the last sheet, and he came up with a design. He wanted it to bring the water and sewer through it. Chris Gallagher, I think, was happier with that. He's nervous. He was nervous that going under, what happens if it breaks, whatever. Now you've got to go underneath it. So he thought going through the bridge would be easier maintenance, not really his problem. It's always going to be a private sewer and water system. So, but that's the way the design is. That's what we're presenting to the commission tonight.
Could we make sure that that's double sleeve going through the bridge, just to make sure if there is a breakage, I don't want it hitting the water?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
In reading the notice of intent, the water line coming through to connect to this project was not discussed. Is that going to be filed separately by DPW or?
No, that it was discussed. I talked about, when I say utilities, I mean all the utilities. So I say, the driveway, the thing, and the utilities. So it means everything, water, sewer, electric. So no, it's not a separate filing.
So the work associated with that, being near some of the resource areas, is covered by this notice?
Yes, if you go on to sheet, I think it's sheet 4, I'm sorry, which I'll put up in a moment. We show you the location of the water line. Actually, the current water line here, I'll put it up right now.
Diana, who's on the screen?
That's Stephanie Kiefer, that's the attorney.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to sheet 4, I'm going to zoom in on it in a moment here. So this is the existing 6-inch water line that goes through to the site. You can see right here, it goes through the wetlands. So the new 8-inch water line will be bringing outside of it, is coming in this area. And one of the reasons we're bringing in there and not pushing it more to the up, which is the west, is because we're meeting the gates that are out there, the water department. There are current gates out there, the water department want us to bring the water line in near those gates. So we're leaving the existing water line in place, and the other one will go out. This is a bordering vegetated wetland that was confirmed by the commission and the DEP. This is an isolated wetland, so it's non-jurisdictional. This is an isolated wetland that is also non-jurisdictional. I didn't point this out at the beginning. We're filing under the Wetlands Protection Act. We're not filing under the local bylaw. All local permits are issued by the ZBA, and they've already issued the permit. So I show the 25-foot no disturb, and we've tried to meet it. I think we've met it in every place on the project except for the crossing and except here, but we've met it everywhere else. Again, that was one of the things that the Zoning Board of Appeals, at your request, asked us to do, what made us do, actually. So yes, I would like that to be permitted as under this part. So I'm going to stay on sheet 4, if you guys, if you don't mind. So the site is serviced by this. We're going to be using a conventional drainage system. I know this is really busy, but it's highlighting the things that I want to highlight. This area right here is the green. So it's underneath these houses, and it doesn't, I don't have it, I should have brought it. These houses this is laid out differently. So these houses here, these buildings here, are actually facing in. And this is a green, that's what we're calling it, actually, it's a green. There's a little gazebo there, and there's walking paths through there. So the front of these houses will be facing each other, and they're nice, they're tight, and they're meant to be. And the garages are in the back, as you can see, coming in off the driveway. But underneath that green, we're going to be putting an underground drain system. The soils here are really good, very, very pervious. We've done soil testing out in that area. And so all of the runoff, almost all of the runoff, except for the back edge of this building, is going to be, from the roofs, is going to be going directly into that drainage system. Clean runoff. You know, you've heard me talk about it a million times. We've separated that runoff. We're going to run it in there separately. The drainage from the driveway will be going into a conventional catch basin drain manhole system. And there's a couple of catch basins here. There's a couple over here. And that's going to service these driveway. It's kind of in the loop. And that will be captured, and we're going to run it through a water quality structure in order to clean it to a minimum of 44% total suspended solids removal. And actually, it's going to be much, much higher than that. Excuse me. And the reason for that is because we want it to go into those underground drains as clean as possible to extend the life of them. So that's the drainage system there. Now, down here, I don't know why this is, here we go. Now down here, because of the grades on the site, this portion of the driveway, basically from Morse Street to about this point right here, we can't put it into the drain system because it's just too low. It's too flat, that area. If you recall, we come in, it's flat, 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 cross over the river flat, then it starts to go up. And we'll be filling the back area. So what we're doing in that area there is we've balanced the flows by capturing all the other runoff, so the rate of runoff is the same or less. But one of the things we still have to deal with is water quality, because we have water coming off of that driveway. We don't want it to go into the wetland or the river without being cleaned in some manner. So what we've decided to use in this area is rain gardens. So, and you've seen them before, bioretention swales, rain gardens. We're going to do 2 sets of rain gardens in this area here. The first is over here, and that is going to take the runoff from the west side of the bridge. Bridge is right here. And so we'll be pitching the driveway toward the bottom, toward the south, and then it will go through this, it's not riprap, it's a pea stone swale into the rain garden, and then it will clean itself. A lot of it's going to be infiltrated. We do not take any credit for infiltration. We're just taking credit for water quality, and then it will overflow into the grass, eventually into the river. Down in this area here, we have the same issue. We have the pea-stone diaphragm next to the sidewalk in this particular case, and the rain garden runs along the whole edge there. Again, it will go in, there's plantings in there, there's a soil mixture in there, and you'll have a runoff overflow, and it will eventually make its way into the river. So that's our drain system. This project has been reviewed by the ZBA. They hired a consultant to go through the drainage and all of the other issues that were brought up. I'd like you to go to sheet 6.
While you're talking about
go ahead.
drainage, though, what about snow removal?
So usually I put on there, and I don't have it, and I have to add it to it. You'll see in John's comments that he wants me to make sure that I put a snow removal location areas on the plan, and I will. And we'll keep those. They will not be in the rain gardens. They won't go in any of the drainage. We'll make sure of that. And in this particular case, we'll make sure that it's outside of the riverfront area. We'll probably be putting it along the side of the road or the driveway down in these areas here. That's the easiest way to plowing down toward it. But we'll make sure it's outside the riverfront area. It will still be partially in the buffer zone of the stream, of the lake, but because we have that big buffer between the driveway and the lake, you'll get a lot of cleaning of it just melting over the grass.
Is this going to be a salt-free or
I doubt it.
application?
I doubt it. If you tell me to do that, I could put it in there. I'm just not sure it will ever happen, but we could, if you wanted to make that a condition. This is not a zone 2. It's not a zone 2. It's not a zone A. It's not a surface water. It's not a groundwater protection area. I'm just pointing it out, and we all know what's going on next door, so it's not exactly pristine.
Are you saying it's called Leechery Pond for a reason?
It used to be called something else.
What do you think, John?
Well, it's definitely an item that we can have for conversation regarding any sort of potential conditions that we would put on this. So it's definitely an item we can discuss. One thing that I had, Bill, was I just double-checked the SWIP plan, and I actually didn't see it, is that the sediment controls along that water line that you're going to upgrade. I would just add those to that. I don't know how, on either side, how much room you're going to need to do that work, but that just shows me, or shows the contractor, that they have free reign over there, and I think we should try to keep them confined to an area if we can.
Yeah, so I show it on the BVW side. You want me to show it on both sides?
Show it on both sides, yeah.
What we can do is show where those isolated wetlands are, I'll put silt sock, and the rest of it we'll do construction fencing.
Yeah, that's fine. Construction, just to keep them, contained.
They're gonna be digging up a lot of soil, going down 4 feet at least,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going down 6.
6.
Yeah, it's 5. They want 5 feet of cover, so, okay.
But it's relatively flat out there, so runoff from every heavy rainstorm is not gonna really go far on that woodland duff.
No, I agree. It's
I just know from a previous project that it was overlooked similar to this, and the contractors basically ripped up the whole entire, 2 acres of forest. So I want to prevent that from happening, so.
Yes.
okay.
Ounce of prevention.
We wouldn't know where that place is it? We wouldn't know where that is.
Oh, don't worry.
Bill, a question. Coming in off Morse Street, you got the rain garden, but the rain garden, you gonna have curbing? Are they requiring curbing? How's the water gonna get into there?
There's
It's
no-
gonna be pitched that way?
It's going to be, so on both those sections of driveway, they're pitched that way. So you're coming in off Morse, they're pitched to the left. On this side of Morse, I don't think we have any curbing. I'm pretty sure I put curbing on there because of that. So it's just going to run over the sidewalk.
The sidewalk is going to be on that side as well.
Yeah.
So it's just,
See this, the note here? There's no curbing on there. So you're going to have a driveway, sidewalk with no curbing, so the runoff is just going that way. Up top, there will be curbing, but we created, I think, about a 20-foot wide cut, and that's where the P-stone is. So it will run off in that direction through the P-stone into it.
So the sidewalk and the street are the same level.
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of like the next time you go down Payson Road, go past the Ernie George Field toward North Street, you'll see the sidewalk and the roadway are pretty much the same level. It's not the best. I did not design that piece. They changed it. Here, it's a little different because you're not going to be flying through here. You're not going to be going over the bridge quickly, and you're not going to be coming in quickly. So normally you want curbing or a grass strip to protect the pedestrian. But in this particular case, excuse me, there's always, right, conflicting things. So we have the issue of we want to minimize the amount of pavement because it's a riverfront, but we also have the safety issue. So my opinion, it was okay in this area because when you're coming in off of a curve like Morse, you're going slow. When you're going to come over that bridge, you're going to go slow. So I think you'll be okay. On the other end, I kept the curbing. So maybe what we can do is go to sheet 6, please. I'm going to put that up on the board, up on the screen. So what this is a mitigation plan that we've put together. Actually, Pear put it together for the project. And Lauren is at another hearing tonight, so she cannot be here. But this is our mitigation plan. We also, in Appendix D in the actual report, if you had a chance to peruse it, that has a fairly extensive discussion for the mitigation plan. It also has a wildlife impact report in there. Again, that was done by Pear. So why do we need a mitigation plan? Because a couple of reasons. The first is we're filling within bordering land subject to flooding. As you can imagine, this is a flood zone. So the elevation of the flood in this area here is, I think it's 180.4. And this orange that I'm showing you, it's terrible. The orange shading is the area that's bordering land subject to flooding, and that we're filling. It's 181.4, I'm sorry. So that's where we have to do compensatory storage for that area. And we're filling about, 4,900 square feet. Square feet, that's the orange, and it's about 990 cubic feet of alteration in that area. So the way we're going to mitigate that is we're going to be also using this rain garden area as compensatory storage. And what that means is we're going to be digging out some of that grass, which we were going to anyways, to create it. And so by creating it a little bit deeper, it's only maybe less than a foot deep, only scooping it out less than a foot through that area. But it's such a big area, it is about 2,000 square feet. So we're going to pick up 1,400 cubic feet. So we're going from 990 cubic feet of filling to 1,400 cubic feet of compensatory storage. So we always try and do more, because invariably, when we go do the as-built, it's never perfect. So we always want to be on the high end, so we don't have to have somebody come back and dig it up again. So that area right there is the area where we're going to be doing our compensatory storage. The riverfront area it's quite large. So let me just zoom out a little bit here. You get this red line is the riverfront area. So basically, it's almost the entire east side of the bridge. And then if you go up here, you can see it's this area there. A couple of things that have happened in there, I know you probably don't remember, but we had a couple of buildings in those areas before, and that was cut back. When the ZBA decided they want us to remove all the buildings along the pond, again, probably some of the rationale was because of comments made by this commission, And we also had a building in this area here as well. So you can see we've moved all the buildings out, but we're still working in riverfront area. But one of the things, and we're disturbing more than 10% of the riverfront. And so normally that's a killer. But in this particular case, our position is this is a limited project. And you're very familiar with limited projects because we just did another one on East Street. We have no other way into this property. There's literally, this is the only way in. There was never another way in, or there was never another way in, at least prior to the Riverfront Act. And actually, this goes back, you would probably know, Mr. Bodie, I mean, this piece was given to the conservation. The pond piece was cut out and given to the conservation, and then this piece was retained. So I want to say that was back in the 70s-ish, so well before the Rivers Act was put in. So we believe that this would fall under a limited project, and therefore falling under a limited project, it allows us to fill or to alter more than the 10%. So if you, again, look at that sheet I gave you, what we try to do is go up in the corner here, as much for our own purposes as yours, and show you what we're looking at. So we have 80,000 plus square feet of riverfront area on the property. Approximately 8,500 square feet of that is degraded. What does degraded mean? It means it's not green. So it's either dirt or pavement. So there's 8,500 square feet. That's the driveway mostly, and there's some gravel over there on the west side. So typically in a riverfront area, we're limited to 10%, which would be 8,000 square feet of the riverfront area, or no more than the degraded area. So that would be 8,400. We're actually altering 14. Oh, why is that on there twice? Let me go to my notes. I know why. So we're altering a total of 14,384, and about 13,338 involves the construction of the access driveway, sidewalk, and walls. And we're building walls. I should have pointed that out. I will in a moment. When we come in over that bridge, we're building walls. And why are we doing that? Because if we didn't, we would have to grade out, and we'd be altering more riverfront. So by building the walls, we're minimizing, again, the amount of riverfront we're altering in that area there. So, as I stated, we went back as far as 1936, and this driveway and building was here. So we believe that it does fall under the definition of a limited project, which says that we can construction and maintenance of a new roadway or driveway of minimum legal and practical width acceptable to the planning board, which in this case was the ZBA, where reasonable alternative means of access to an upland area of the same river is unavailable. So we believe that we've met that. We've worked very hard to minimize the roadway and the alteration. But also there's another section of that allows us, that's E, and section I allows us to maintain, repair, and improve, but not substantially enlarge, structures, including dams, reservoir, blah, 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 piers, towers, headwalls, bridges, and culverts, which existed on the effective date, April 1st, 1983. So in this particular case, we're just widening it to the minimum width that the fire department and the public safety people want in this area. So again, I think that if you would look at that, I believe the commission could look at that and say that we do meet the standard laid out in the Wetlands Protection Act. Some of the other things we're doing here, which I pointed out a few minutes ago, is the riverfront area mitigation. So PAIR has put together a big mitigation plan. And again, you can go to this sheet and you can go to the letter and the report. So there's 3 mitigation areas here. Well, we're calling them riverfront restoration areas. So this is riverfront restoration area number 1. We've hatched it. So this is pavement. It's up in this area. We're going to remove it, and we're going to install native plantings in a seed mixed, And I think that says 1,120 square feet. Let's make it bigger so I can read it too. Yeah, 1,120. This area here, this is the grass area. If you remember, you drove in, this is all grass. So Lauren thought that it would be good. What we want to do is take this riverfront area too and do some supplemental native plantings in there to augment what is currently there. And the reason for that is to stop any invasives from moving into the site. So, and if I remember correctly, there's not, even along that riverfront, it's nice. There's not a lot of invasives through that area there. So you can see this is a large area. This is about 21,000 square feet. And then the third riverfront restoration area that was planned is down here over as you come in from Morse Street, again on the left. If you look at if you pull up there on that driveway, go into that driveway now, our new driveway is no further left than that. So we held that left line closest to the pond, and we went this way. And I think you can see that on this. This is the existing driveway right here, and this is our new driveway. So we've held the left, moved to the right, and the only thing that went a little bit left was our rain gardens, which are allowed to be constructed in riverfront area. They don't count as alteration. Monitoring and maintenance will be solely at the developer, and then the condo association will have to do it. Laura prepared a maintenance plan, and we also have a stormwater maintenance plan, my Joe Biden moment. So it's a maintenance plan, an operation and maintenance plan. Some of the other things that the commission must consider as a performance standard, and again, I've outlined this in my letter, is protection of other resource areas. So what other resource areas are we dealing with in here? We are doing filling within the bordering land subject to flooding, which I just talked about. And then there's also, we are also doing some work up here in isolated land subject to flooding. So that is up in that's not on this sheet. That is on sheet 4. I'm sorry, sheet 3. So up on sheet 3, which I'll put up on here in a moment, up on the left higher corner, the northwest corner, okay. This area right here. So this is an isolated land subject to flooding. And there's a little piece of it that comes into our area right in here. And we're filling that, we're altering that. So you can alter isolated land subject to flooding, but there are some requirements that you have to do. And what we're doing here is you have to look at flood damage due to filling, which causes lateral displacement of water. In this particular case, there's nothing back there. This is just a large isolated wetland, so there's no damage. There'd be no damage to any human activities anyways. Adverse effect on public and private water supply or groundwater supply. With said area is underlain by pervious material. This is not a public or private water supply area, as I mentioned. It's not a zone 2, it's not a surface water supply protection area. An adverse effect on the capacity to prevent pollution of the groundwater. Again, this is not a groundwater protection area. And then it's impairment of its capacity to provide wildlife habitat where it's a vernal pool habitat. And in this particular area, this is not a vernal pool. And one of the things I didn't point out, but I will now, is we do lie within an area that falls under the National Heritage Program. And back in 2008, it fell under it back at that time too. And we had filed with them at that point. They gave us a no-take notice, which means that whatever we were doing was okay. And so we have refiled with them as a part of this notice of intent, and that we have not heard from them. But I hope and expect to get a no-take, because this plan is significantly less intensive than the commercial design we had before. So the land subject to flooding is the area that I was talking about there. About 62 square feet of land underwater is going to be displaced by the reconstruction of the bridge. I'm not going to go through all of it. It's on page 5 of my letter. I listed all. Water carrying capacity is not going to be made worse. It's actually going to be made better, because the bridge is going to be made bigger and wider so that it's in compliance with the DEP stream crossing standards. Ground and surface water quality, no impact. Breeding habitat, no impact. Wildlife habitat, Lauren talks about that in her report. Again, in Appendix D, she did not find any issues. So that's one of the other things. And then we're altering about 22 feet of bank along the Rutherford River because we're expanding the bridge. So again, there are performance standards we talked about: physical stability, water carrying capacity, groundwater surface quality, and the wildlife issue again, and I discussed that as well. So I've talked a lot, and we've gone through this, and I guess I'll stop right now and we can start a discussion.
David, you had your hand up first.
Looking at the site, and we all know it's tight, you're gonna have to be removing some of the soils, you have to, but you're also gonna be bringing in a lot.
Yes.
Where are your soil storage locations?
We do not have it. I do not have a final SWIP. I gave you a draft. It's really difficult for me to do that. What I do say is that they'll be outside of the 100-foot buffer zone and riverfront area. Once we get a contractor on board, we sit down with him. I sit down with him in my office, and we take the SWIP and we finalize it, and then we file for our NIPD's permit. And then what we'll do at that point is we'll sit down with John and whoever the planning board or ZBA designates, if anybody, to be the eyes of the town there. It's usually now the town engineer, Lance, and we'll go over that at that point, and then we'll look at those things like that. You know, where is the stockpile going? What's the phases going to be? I have no idea what the phases are here. I don't know what buildings they're going to build first, so we'll need to do that, and we have to. But as you know, it's an ongoing, it's a live document. It's going to change weekly on phases. You know, I think, my opinion, if you put something in your condition that said that no stockpiling can take place within the buffer zone or within the riverfront area, then we'll obey that.
I would even take it a step further and have you provide us a plan prior to any sort of construction efforts.
Yeah.
You know, and then also provide us an updated SWIP, updated construction sequencing plan, all that stuff that we would need prior to engaging any sort of construction. Obviously, the contractor would be hired, all the other folks that would know exactly what's going on, they would know, and we'd have a good kind of sense as to how to proceed. So I think we could definitely condition that moving forward. I've done that many times for large-scale projects like this.
I think we just did it on Ridge Road. I want to do it on every project. That way, you know, I mean, how many times have you seen me in here defending my clients for doing things that they shouldn't have been doing? So if we get them at the beginning and everybody's in the room together, then you can't say, well, I didn't know, you know, that type of thing. It's still going to happen, but at least we're doing that. So I agree with what John said wholeheartedly. I'm all for that.
Now, the second question, being a tight site, we also know they're gonna be parking in the areas that you wanna restore. It's inevitable, unless you force them to park out on the site that's been cleared, where they're gonna build buildings in phases. So if they be parking in those areas, they're going to compact it. If they have any construction equipment, you got leakage always. I mean, who's going to be monitoring that? And do we have a plan of going in there and cleaning it up? Because I don't think Laura wants to plant anything out there before they start construction.
That's a good point, and we'll need to address that.
I mean, on a site like this, I would suggest putting in sediment trap basins north of the road to capture any runoff potential. You know, obviously, then the other question, Bill, is, you know, are you going to construct the bridge before any of this major construction efforts happen? Or are you gonna keep the road as is and then use that for construction and then build the bridge later? I guess that's my question.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
And is the bridge sufficient to have trucks going back and forth over it? How's the integrity of it? You know, that's the
Yeah.
question.
No, we've done this multiple times. We've had structural engineers look at that bridge, and they've already said, it's fine.
Okay.
You know, it's fine as is, as best they can, because they can't, there's no plans, but looking at it. So, one of the things we were going to do, and again, I don't think this was put into our permit, but is, we're gonna have a reinforcement laid over the existing bridge.
Yeah.
During construction.
Plates.
In order to do that. So that would have been, and I don't know how they would do it, not a structural guy.
Yeah.
I mean, but they would put some reinforcement over that, and then trucks would go back and forth. I don't know if the bridge is gonna be built first or not.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that's probably something we should figure out
Yeah.
before the pre-construction meeting, so however
That'd be part of the phasing too.
however the developer wants to proceed. I mean, that's also up to the contractor to, whether they're comfortable driving their trucks along that bridge back and forth, numerous trips, trucking in and out, so.
And so I need to figure that out, and I think that should be part of the SWIP on where vehicles can park.
That area's so flat that even if you put basins in there, the water's not gonna really go to them. Because it's, one side is all fill, that is all grass.
So I'm thinking of it making sure that, for instance, no potential runoff goes, I guess you would put sediment controls on the opposite side too. You could do that too, prevent runoff, and then, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been out to the site because it has a superseding ORAD to it. But I would say that if this was the case, then it's relatively flat. Then, I mean, I'll leave it up to Bill for you to think on how to put something together for the SWIP.
Maybe have some type of environmental type engineer monitor the activities and if there's any spillage or any leakage and,
So the site contractor,
yeah,
Need to
someone
protect the
that's
restoration.
not gonna be biased, that's for sure. That's what we had down there at the soccer project.
Oh,
There was, they had weekly reports coming in.
yeah.
Yeah, they were very good.
yeah, with the SWIP reports provide just a inspection of the area with sensitivity to the resource areas.
So typically, I mean, it's up to you guys, but we did it on Water Street. You know, we had Lauren, if the developer is paying them, I mean, you can look at that and say, oh, they're biased. It's just the nature of the beast. I mean, I'm biased, afraid being here today, but I'm not gonna lie to you, but I know sometimes you're fearful of that. The only really way to do that is to have and I don't mean you, I mean, it has to be a town person to do it. Otherwise, so I don't know. But again, and I'm not minimizing this, Water Street was different. Zone 2, surface water supply, you know, that was, like, you're next to a Superfund site. It's not a water resource protection district. It's not a surface water protection district. So, you know, I understand, I think the point about protecting the restoration areas so they don't get damaged, that's important. We need to address that.
any type of parking is going to compact that over 2 years.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
2-year project at least.
No, I agree. I think you're right. We need to protect those areas to keep them out. We need to fence them off.
It's just too tempting. It's a wide open area. You know, you're coming into work and you park your pickup truck out.
So would you like to see a employee parking area or contractor parking area? I've seen it on sites, so
I agree.
don't think that this is like a crazy ask. I have seen it on sites.
No, it
Yeah,
is.
it's
We need
very
to,
valid.
we need to do that, and he's gonna have to figure it out. Again, the contract, I'm not telling him how to do it, but he has to figure it out. And we just give him performance standards. Here's your performance standards. Can't be within the buffer zone, can't be within the riverfront area, can't be on the restoration areas. Okay? So now let's figure it out.
I think if we just
Put the
say you can't be
contractor-
within the riverfront area, that includes everything. So I would just say, just plan to be outside the riverfront area.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
It would, these areas, in here though, it's a little, like along here, this is buffer zone.
That's buffer.
Yeah, so there is buffer and riverfront. But we can work on that. I mean, again, this is all
Well, I think David was more concerned about the areas that you're going to be,
the riverfront area, the restoration.
restoration areas.
Three
Restoration
restoration
area.
areas.
Yeah,
yes.
I think you would be comfortable with them having sediment controls established and them parking near that area, right?
In the restoration areas.
Not outside the restoration
Yeah,
areas.
put your siltation, put a contractor
Fence.
fence up.
Yeah.
And just, that's it.
Because it is considered their limit of work and they're
Yeah.
allowed to do work within those areas.
Yep, okay.
You also got, before you destroy it, you also got that paved driveway that goes into the back. They could make a circular route so they can park out onto the paved area before they destroy it. I mean, that's in those back units.
But that curved parking, driveway goes out, that's in part of the restoration area.
Yeah, we're gonna restore that at some point. We'll do that.
Yeah.
You're right, again, but, I try not to, unless it's absolutely critical, I try not to tell somebody how to do their job. Because quite frankly, they're smarter than me when it comes to all these things. They've done it. So that's a great, it sounds good to me. And we can bring it up to him when we're doing the final plan, whoever him is or her.
I think it'll all come together once we get that construction
Yeah.
sequencing plan, because then we can
That's
see.
what I think too, yeah.
See how everything's gonna lay out, and then you can figure out where parking and everything's gonna be after that. One question I have for you, Bill, you said you're gonna remove the impervious area for the restoration area, right?
Yes.
How much impervious was that? I can't remember off the top of my
It's
head.
19,
You had a sheet.
Was it like 1,900, 2,000, something like that?
yeah, it's 1,900, no, it's 1,120.
So that gets chalked off all the riverfront impacts that you have, because you're restoring it. So that gets, for instance, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, that gets subtracted from all your riverfront alterations.
From the 13,000.
Yeah. So that brings your number down.
Yeah, we're still way above the 8,000.
No, I know. But then, for instance, the other impervious that you're removing, right? Is that the only other impervious you're moving?
Yeah, everything else is adding,
Okay.
because we're widening the driveway.
Yeah, so you're adding more impervious. But that was pre-existing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not new technically, because it's already been previously disturbed.
Yeah,
So
so all,
then-
that 8,500 that I was talking about is basically all driveway.
So that's all driveway? So then, yeah, you would be okay. Because it's already pre-existing prior to the Wetlands Protection Act and also the Rivers Protection Act. So you should be okay. Because that driveway was there since when?
30s is the
Since the
best we can
30s?
tell, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Previously degraded area. Okay.
Okay.
So we can do the calculations, but I think you get under the threshold.
Right, well, let's do it again, because I have had it, it's a lot of different interpretations of it, but
Right.
but whatever you guys want to do is fine with me. Because if we can meet the threshold, awesome, but also the limited project, I think, let's go over that.
Either way will work, I think, from my perspective. It's just however you want to proceed with this.
Okay. I'm going to let you talk, I'm going to have Lauren give you a call.
That's fine.
So, under the natural heritage response from the previous application, they did require a blending turtle protection plan during the breeding months.
Whatever that is, yeah. I'm not
They mentioned it, I think March to September, October, it's
2008, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm not even sure what the
Species of concern is?
species is out there now. I think it's the same species as River Ridge, which was a turtle, right?
Yeah.
yeah, it was the
turtle.
blending turtle and the blue salamander
Yeah.
originally, based on what was written up.
So we'll have to wait and see what comes back from them to what we have to do.
Yeah, I let them let us know.
Any other questions, comments?
With the limited project, don't you have to show to the commission that you've made all attempts to reach out to abutting property owners, if any exist, for access to, for allowable access to the
Right.
property?
So we did not.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because, so let me zoom out. And let me go back in.
This is ours.
No, I know. My point is, if, I would see that this might be able to get under the 10% without having to get into the limited project.
Yeah, I mean, that would be
You can
awesome.
avoid, if that's a requirement.
That's a conversation that Lauren and I are gonna have, so.
So what we did is, if you look over here, this is conservation. I did have a narrative. I did give you a narrative of this. Conservation, 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 our residential neighbors. So even if our neighbors allowed us, we still have to cross the river. We still have to cross the river, and coming in over here, the, anybody, you ever driven back there on the bleachery? So if you ever go back there, take a right, David's gonna be like, how wide is that, 12 feet?
Yeah.
Between the buildings? It's like that wide. So you physically can't get through there to access, like, through this area here. And this is the Superfund site. So I'm guessing my client probably wouldn't be interested in taking on that liability of it. But
I don't think the Conservation Commission would be amenable to a roadway going through some wetlands, so.
Yeah, so I did discuss it, and I'm going to work with John to try and get us under that 10%.
Okay.
And I still have some things to do based on the comments. We're still waiting for National Heritage. So if we could continue the hearing too, if there's no more questions. I'll be back if there are. If you think of any, if anybody wants to walk the site with me, I'd be glad to meet you out there. It's really thick now, but at least you can get a feel again for what's happening. I can just meet you out there.
It's better than spring or the fall, walking out there.
Yeah.
Actually, you can see.
Is there any areas along the roadway that are, you know, essentially degraded? Not just the roadway itself, where it's just, there's no topsoil, it's not a condition that you
You know
could.
what? There was a nursery. The guy did a great job.
Did it?
Did a great job. I mean, it's been like gone for a while, but it really, there isn't any. Believe me, I would have picked it up. I would have picked it up. But anyways.
Anything else from the board? Do you think you'll be ready by the 29th, or do you want to slide into August?
When is it?
Our next one is the 29th or August 12th.
I think the 29th is going to be too soon,
Okay.
because I'm gone next week.
All right.
And so
You're gonna be on vacation part of the time, so.
Yeah. But you know what? If you could put me on for the 29th, if you don't have anything else, push me off. But-
An NOI just got filed, so.
Okay, so if we can go on the 29th, if Lauren can get it done, because most of this work is hers, and we can get it done, we can come back and go over that, and I can just.
And if
zoom
you
in.
don't have it, you can just
We'll
ask.
continue it for
Yeah.
the 12th, yeah.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to continue?
Make a motion to continue 119 Morse Street, NOI DEP number 157641.
Second?
To the 29th.
To the, to the 29th, yes. I even wrote it down, I forgot.
Second discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Bill, is that triangle ours, or is that owner unknown?
That's yours. This is all town land right here. This piece right here.
Is that,
And the whole
that's not
bleaching pond.
Concom, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. It is?
You own the whole pond and that triangle,
Oh, okay.
and then you own across the street, that whole pond.
Would've known.
You guys got the bucks.
A fence, yeah.
Okay, it being 7:10, we have a continue.
The 119 Morse Street, the old one,
Oh, yes, okay, yes. Actually, I was going to interrupt and do that first, but that's all right. We got 119 Morse Street, request for a certificate of compliance that they didn't do anything, 157466. So what's the technical term on that?
We're voting it as an invalid order of conditions.
Okay. Somebody want to
All
make
right,
that
I'll
motion?
make a motion to make a motion for invalid conditions, is that right?
Invalid order conditions, yes.
Invalid order commission, conditions on 119 Morris Street, DEP 157-466.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right. Did Mr. Caspera want to sign in or chime in, Bill?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I borrow your pen? My pen just ran out.
Have you got 8 Goodwin Drive?
I can stumble through any comments or questions. I
just
thought
continue, right?
Yeah.
you were all
DEP
done.
number?
You were all done, but you were waiting for the DEP number.
Yeah.
Okay,
We received that, so.
all right. I did want to make a comment. I was out there today. There's one place where we got some siltation going through. If you remember where the retention basin was that you corrected last time?
Yeah, I sent you the pictures of it.
Yes, right. Thank you for that. But if you go to the right, with it back to the street,
Yeah,
to the right a ways, there's a house that's under construction, and I can't tell which property that it is, but there's one gully going down through there.
so there's the house under construction, and then is it 18
two-
Goodwin?
Yeah.
18 Goodwin's the next one?
I don't
The
know,
one
the
before
numbers
18.
up
It's the one
there,
before 18?
Yeah.
Okay, I know which one
the
it is.
numbers are confusing to
Yeah.
me. But I walked up there and
Between
there's,
12 and 18.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know who that is. I'll talk to him.
as I say, it could be the lot that the detention basin is on. I'm not sure.
I think it is. So that's Scott Martiniak's, but I'm just sending a note to myself.
So do we have an order of conditions for 8 Goodwin?
I'm going to issue the standard one. You are
Okay.
okay with that one?
Yep. Someone want to make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 157640?
Before. Rebecca, you mentioned that we added something in that discussions on that.
We wanted to make sure that the trees were flagged thoroughly and that somebody was there to make sure that
It was done.
it was done properly.
So the condition was, say again, I can't remember off the top of my head.
That it says, the buffer limit of work to be flagged before the trees are cut and meet with the tree cutters to confirm which trees are to be cut, and that someone would be on site to monitor.
So we were going to put a special condition in there. Yep. All right, I will do that
I think
per those meeting minutes.
Okay.
it was the monitoring while they were cutting. So that we don't have a disaster like we had on 18, that there wasn't anybody monitoring.
Did you just volunteer yourself?
No.
Sounds like it.
It did sound like it to me.
So,
I
right?
don't get paid for that. He does.
So we're signing this or we're not signing this?
So you can sign it pending the additional comment that was made from the previous meeting minutes. I'll just add that language in there
All right.
under findings and a condition.
Did we close the hearing? Oh, that's fine. I
We
don't think closed it,
continued
right?
it.
We gotta close it first.
Yeah, we were waiting for a DEP number.
Okay.
Before you issue.
All right.
Get closed.
Okay,
Close
thank
the-
you.
Issue the order.
All right.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing on 8 Goodwin Drive, DEP number, 157640.
640.
640, jeez.
Okay.
I said go.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so it's closed. Now then,
I'll make a motion to issue a order of conditions for 8 Goodwin Drive, DEP number 157640.
Second.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. You got it coming around, Peter? All righty. 130 Morse Street, 157605. Request for an order of conditions, do you?
Extension. That's for an extension.
How many years? 3?
Oh,
Yeah.
extension, all right.
Did they give us a reason why they needed an extension?
You got 130 Morse Street?
Yeah, I inherited that.
That's the one that's across the street that has the river flowing to the back of
Yeah,
it.
it's all disturbed and,
Right.
It's a mess.
And we own half of the frontage,
yeah. Oh, you own that whole pond?
whole pond, but on the other side of that land, we own the old parking lot that connects into the back,
Oh, so he's working on it.
just what we
Oh,
want.
okay, that's where they were gonna put the, okay.
Commercial building,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
commercial
and
building.
then,
So the
wasn't there?
story is, I don't know who the developer is, but the, AJ Dooley bought it.
Okay,
AJ Dooley bought it. He's got the approved plan. You guys approved it. It
Yeah.
never went to planning board. So,
I think there was a discussion
Not yet.
at planning board, stuff, but we were effectively blocking access to the dam. And so that was some consideration there.
was there something in your permit about it?
I don't think I think we neglected to put something in there.
Okay.
It was discussed, but I don't know if we actually wrote it in there, because who had the rights?
Who,
We do.
yeah, who has the rights for the, I don't know any of this. Do we know who has the rights to the dam?
It came with the conservation land and the water, And our land goes behind that parcel.
Yeah,
But there used to be, I think, housing on that parcel for factory workers, a long time ago. So we come around and come up on the other side.
okay.
And the parking lot for that, whatever was there, is, we own most of it.
Yeah.
So that's where our land comes up.
So what he's asking, so Dooley bought this, he never, the other person never finished permitting it. He doesn't even know if he wants to build that. So what he's asking the commission is for an extension for the order of conditions. We asked for 3 years. If we change it in any way, we have to come back and do it, and we still have to go through the planning board. So if there's any issues like that, like David just brought up, you can just, now that you've told me, I'll remember it, I hope. But you can also, when it comes around for you to comment, you can also make comment about that. I'm sure the planning board will be interested. I don't see any, the good thing is it's A.J. Dooley, he's a local person, he's gonna work with you, whatever needs to be done there. And I know the town is also working on that, dealing with the dam over there underneath the building.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how that ties into this.
That's why we had the big discussion on what is riverfront, what is a pond,
Yes,
and the resource areas went back and forth.
yes, back and forth many times, yes.
I do
Because
love those discussions, by the way. I think I've spent, on a couple projects, 7 meetings just discussing what is considered a river and what's not a river. So they're fun.
Oh, yeah.
Should we make a motion?
Yep.
All right. I'll make a motion to grant the 3-year extension to the order of conditions issued for 130 Morse Street, DP number 157605.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Good night, thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you. Do we have anybody for Wolf Meadow? Is everyone zooming in on that, Diana? or-
Phil was going to try to be here, actually.
Well, I talked to Phil. He was in the parking lot here, and it looks like he had to run out before he could come in and discuss it. But he's been going over there, working on that dam in the area, cleaning it up and making a better pathway to get there. So he was going to discuss what we could do, but he's made some improvements with his people over there. And the water level has gone down, so they got a better roadway. Remember, we went splashing through that road?
Yes.
But that has been improved with the monitoring that he's been doing. But he'll gladly, come in and discuss anything else. But he's been trying to do what he can with his staff.
Yeah.
But he was waiting out here, but I saw him flying out of here, so I'm pretty sure he'd get called in for some type of emergency.
All right.
So the question is, it's beaver activity, is that correct?
I assume so, yeah.
Beaver and human. I mean, the beavers are putting it there, the humans are pulling it out
Right.
and piling it up,
So
blocking the path.
the question is what can we do to alleviate the beaver issue?
The question is, who has the money to help alleviate the beaver issue?
I think that is a great question, David.
Yeah, technically, there's no public health danger, because there's not a real big dam, and
Right.
it's hardly anything, it's all woodland, so, our land and state forest. But we own the pond, or most of it,
Okay.
and state forest picks up to the north of it,
Okay, so all expenses are going to be paid by the Conservation Commission on this one, I guess, right?
on a zero budget.
I don't know, on a zero budget, right? So,
And I don't think, based on what the rules are, I don't think you can hire a trapper to go in there to get
it's
it.
November to April 15th. So it goes from November 1st to tax day. So we're outside that threshold right now. Yeah.
But you still have to have a good reason.
Yes, you
Board of
do.
Health has to make those.
Board of Health
decisions.
has to make those decisions, yes.
But he was willing to help. Well, Tom.
Yeah, no, he
Rizzo
seemed
had-
very eager to help, and
Right. But unfortunately, Tom had to leave because of management issues.
you we ask him back again, or?
So
He had it.
Huh?
He had it with the certain people.
there are some ways where you can try to do it with the help of some volunteers and create a kind of, I guess, divergence or diverter kind of system where you can get some piping from Home Depot and get some caging to kind of see if it fixes or alleviates this situation a little bit. But that's going to require some volunteers and help and assistance. So it's going to be, instead of just money, well, obviously you have to pay for all the materials, but also getting volunteers to help out and having an engineer support from town maybe, try to help us figure out how we can do it the right way. So that's obviously a discussion we're going to have with.
That was boards, wasn't it? It's rocks on both sides and boards.
Yes, yeah, I
Going
believe that's right.
across.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you pull the boards, then you're also in trouble by lowering the water.
Yeah, we
There's
don't
no
want.
way around on this.
Yeah, we don't want to do that though. We don't want to, I guess, open the floodgates on that dam because that's going to probably affect some other issues. The challenge is trying to divert it in a way where you can put a cage system around it and basically try to keep them from getting access to that area. What happens is they build like a kind of another secondary dam trying around this entrapment area, which it's easier to manage, but you actually have to physically go in the water to remove it. That's the only downside. But it's easier than getting it right up lodged into the dam system itself.
Of course, this is the deepest part.
So there's a lot of, I guess, with these sort of issues, there's a lot more factors and things that come into play when you try to actually put this plan in action. It's not easy and it requires a lot of maintenance. So that's where currently, I think it's a lot to ask of the members and myself and Diana to try to make this happen at this time. I mean, it'd be nice if we could do that, but I think it's something that potentially could have a discussion about trying to put plans of action, like I was saying, these land management plans and things. These are something that we should really inventory of all these properties. I think it's important for us to take inventory of what issues we have for a lot of these properties. And Foxborough has a lot of land, a lot of water bodies, a lot of structures that the Conservation Commission's in charge of.
And this dam is at least a mile in.
I was gonna say, it's real far
So
in, which
it's
is hard to
and
get.
it's not easy to get there either. So if you were going to bring in some materials,
It's a trek.
it's a trek. It's a good quarter, half mile in.
Then you have to get out of your vehicle. Well, it sounds like Phil has improved the path to get there. Remember we walked the path?
We drove in with the truck to the,
Not all the way, though.
no,
You have to
no,
walk in
but
a
we
fair
see-
amount, but he's improved that access.
to that flooded road.
Yeah, but, no, not the flooded part, but get to the
Yeah,
dam.
no, right, but that's as far as we
So,
got.
that still is a pretty difficult trek.
Yeah,
And you'd have to put planking across the dam to get to the other side for maintenance, because there's no path on the other side.
Oh, there's no path on the other
On
side?
the other side, no.
Okay. So we have to construct like a bridge-like structure?
A couple planks.
Is that safe? Sorry, my face.
The interesting thing, we can get in once a week or whatever. The beavers are there 24/7.
Well, that's, the thing is with these beavers is that if there's a lodge out there, that usually typically houses about 8 to 10 beavers. So just that kind of for perspective. And then if there's 2 lodges, then you're dealing with potentially 20 beavers. And unfortunately, if you have 2 lodges on that pond, you're in trouble because, there could be other lodges out there too. So, and they're always active. They're engineers, and what I say is they don't have jobs. So all they're doing is just basically cutting down trees and trying to dam up the water. So that's what they're doing.
very good at it.
I don't think we saw a lodge. I think Tom said it was around the corner
Yeah, I don't recall seeing one,
on the west end.
just that dam is always blocked up.
So what can we do?
What can we do?
Yeah.
Much.
I guess try to get some volunteers to help us with the cleanup efforts and see if we can secure some funding to put towards a project.
If you don't have Carol doing the landscaping, there's money in that budget.
Okay.
What's that?
If you don't have Carol doing the landscaping anymore, there's money in that.
Is that the only budget we have?
So
That's all we've got?
that money can be used for maintenance of the dam. There are some potential funds with grant opportunities, but those are no slam dunk. But they also take time and effort, so what we have right now is we have, how much money now? So Diana says we have about $7,000 that we could put towards maintenance opportunities. So this could be one of them that we could potentially invest into.
Did they have general language, or was that specific to the Lane property?
No, it's a line item in the budget called ground maintenance.
Ground maintenance, and we changed it then? Because originally when they gave us the money, it was for the Lane property.
No, this is the regular town budget. This is not grant money.
It wasn't the grant money.
No.
Grant money's gone.
Yeah.
So
Do we know it's all gone, though? I've asked for an accounting on that. Mark is going to give me
There's
some.
various trust fund things
Yeah.
that Jane kept track of.
Yeah,
And
nothing's left?
well, I don't know, there's money in different funds, but I don't really, there's like Hershey has money. There's a Dave Rich thing that only has like $20. There's a few other funds that have money in them, but I don't know what you can use them for.
Yeah, all right. Well, Mark was going to get us an accounting of that, to see if there's any funds available, and then we'd have to obviously go through recreation.
Good.
Is that what the Friends are for?
Yes,
Don't have a
part,
budget.
yes, yes.
No, that we just get them when we need them to do something and they find us some money?
All right.
They usually monitor, yeah. We haven't gotten any money from them. I was a friend at one point, I ended up here, so. Get sucked in.
We won.
Yeah.
Any other land updates?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay. I have the site visit coordination down. This afternoon, I visited Ridge Road, the Lawton Farm area, and the Y. And tomorrow, I'm going to hit the Taylor Road. But everybody knows John is only limited to 10 hours. I asked him if he was available more than 10 hours. Unfortunately, no. But I was going to try to go to the selectmen and get some more money if possible. But John is maxed out, so it'll save me a trip to front of the select board. But with all these things, between the Lawson Farms, Ridge Road, and Morse Street, whatever, the senior housing, we need more than once a week visitations. So I'm not sure exactly how we can handle it. And if we see something, what I would like to do is get it to Diana rather than individuals making judgment calls. Get the information to Diana, she can get it to John, and then we can go from there rather than any one person having a conflict with a builder or a developer or whatever. I think it should come from John. I mean, he's got the broad shoulders.
thank you very much. And I apologize, I cannot do it. Summers are tough for me, especially having a toddler at home, so.
Yeah, I understand.
Yep.
I certainly understand. But
We can walk onto these project sites. It's in every permit.
Yes,
Just observe, okay? And you can identify yourself, which we don't have any
So I think
We're supposed to get
this
back.
is one thing that I was gonna talk to Diana about, and I haven't done it yet, so I apologize, is that getting identification cards, they do have them, right?
Peter just had his made.
So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, mine turned out terrible.
so
Yeah,
Oh, we
If
get
you-
cards.
yeah.
if you
Go to
would,
the Board of Health.
if you wouldn't just
Okay.
make sure to get those cards, so if you do go to any job sites, you can show that you're actually an official of the town, if anybody asks. You know, obviously, I can't deck you out, or the town can't deck you out in all sorts of, you know, Foxborough Conservation Commission swag, but,
Yeah.
I can order lanyards or something.
I mean, lanyards would be helpful, maybe, to have everybody's badge in there, you know?
Okay.
Dave would definitely get good use out of it.
So,
But that's what I did with the soccer project, was the second one. Rich, did you go out with me?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so we set up communications there just to observe, and John actually, we brought him in so that he could see the site too. And they were very good.
Yeah, they're great on that,
That should almost be done.
So just so everybody's aware, I've got a pre-construction meeting at 61 Belcher for construction on Thursday between 11:30 and 12:30. So if anybody wants to join me, they can. It's on my report, but if anybody's available, I will be out there, so,
61 Boston.
yeah,
I'm sorry, what day did you say it was?
Thursday,
Maybe?
starting at 11:30.
that's you go down the hill by Comcast
Find the
and
dump,
take
yeah.
up and behind.
Yeah, they're ready to start construction with that project.
Oh, is that the one that
At the-
you take
the,
the road in the industrial park?
Yeah,
You go right to the end and
go up the hill,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like up and,
yeah.
go up the hill.
Yeah, you go down the hill to Comcast,
Comcast is at the bottom of the hill in the corner.
And there's a road on the right,
then you drive in
Right.
right before Comcast,
right.
and then it comes back up the hill.
Yeah, you drive in, and you take another right, and then you go to the end, that's where we were going to add on to the building.
Yeah,
And that's where we had them stay out of the wet area buffer zone.
Yeah.
And they moved it around. Okay,
absolutely, yep.
they're nice people.
Yeah, they seem like nice people. I've talked to them.
That was another build project.
So with all the site visits you're talking about, you're gonna have a list?
Well,
Diana,
if you
or-
see anything, just let Diana know what, try to take a picture of it and get that to Diana, then she can forward it. to
So
John.
what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put together a list of active sites that are currently ongoing. And that way, all the members have an understanding, and I'm actually gonna make a database with links to plans and stuff. So I will have that available for everybody.
That's awesome.
So it'll be a working database. It's probably gonna be over Google Drive if everybody knows how to use Google Drive.
Some of us will learn. I've accessed
David,
it,
it's just a blank stare.
but yes, that'll be fine.
It's
I'm
pretty
not
easy.
sure.
It's real easy. You just click,
Yeah,
click-
it is easy.
click on a link.
Oh, all I have is Google Chrome.
That's fine.
It works well on Google Chrome.
You have you have a Gmail account, right? You have a Gmail
It's a
account?
Gmail.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I haven't looked at it in a while, but that's,
No, I look at it daily.
okay.
I'll come in, Diana can update me, so,
Okay.
okay. Anything else?
It'd be good to have a list, like you say, of what's active, but also it would be good to have a list of projects that may have been completed, but they haven't asked for the, certificate or any paperwork.
You're asking for a lot here, David.
No, it's something that I brought up to Jane a few times, because that way there, everybody can, see what's going on.
Yeah, I know, a huge mess.
Diana says that she has a huge master list that she can provide you, but I think you have to be able to use Excel. Do you have Excel?
No,
Okay.
well, maybe, no.
All right, anything else? Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to close the meeting?
I'll second that.
Discussion, all in favor?
Wait.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you.